everybody, it's LindaG, and I'm here with Sterling.
Good morning, everybody, wherever you're joining us from. Good morning.
Thank you. And we want to thank Linda, your wife, your team that
Exactly.
brings all this good stuff together. And thank you guys for your questions. And it's raining here and it's sunny where he is. So there you go.
And it never rains in San Francisco, right? Yeah.
It's actually last night when my sister and I left the city. Beautiful. It was very unusual. Usually it's foggy. That Golden Gate Bridge, it was just golden. It was beautiful.
Nice.
And
nice.
I went to an event with Rachel Maddow, and I was blown away. It was really a good event. But there was a lot of people that came up to me that, hey, Linda, I watch your show. And
oh, nice. Nice.
So I felt like a celebrity too.
Should have had a merchandise table in the lobby. You gotta travel with merch. Yeah.
I can't get merch on YouTube. There's a way to do it and I can't figure it out. So I'm just too lazy to figure it out. Okay.
Well, by the way, I'll show you how to do it. I don't use that option, but I'll show you how to do it. It's very easy. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to be seeing you guys hopefully soon. So when we hook up, we can talk. Okay. So we have your questions and we're very happy to have your questions. And I'm excited about this. Okay. Wondering what your team sees as outcome of Kentucky governor's race coming up in November. Will Governor Beshear be reelected?
I get a big yes on that. Big yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Almost like a bulldozer. So yeah, it's a big yes. It's all, I don't want to call it a landslide, but it looks like maybe people are fed up with what's going on. Is he already the incumbent, right? He's the incumbent, yes. I think, as well. Yeah, it looks like kind of a landslide. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Will they investigate who threatened the wives of Republicans who voted against Jim Jordan? And will there be any punishment for it?
Yeah, I feel actually the FBI is already on top of it. They already have like the social media records. And I don't feel there's like a direct tie into the government. These are like kind of independent people that just, a little more radical. So right. I could be surprised at the arrest. Oh, I didn't know their son did that. I mean, it's like, it's going to be a little more randomized. Yeah.
Okay. Like that woman that she made a death threat. I can't remember who, but she just woke from a drunk stupor from the couch and
right. I feel like these are people that just felt very opinionated and want to get out there and cause a lot of ruckus and not really tied to any major group. Yeah. So
that's a shame. Now that Sidney Powell, the Kraken, has pled guilty in cooperating with Georgia State, how is 45 and others feeling? The Kraken and
Chesbro. Yeah, Kenneth Chesbro. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, without a doubt, I mean, I get they're scrambling behind the scenes. They're scrambling because now it's like there's a big hole in the ship. The ship's going down. Okay. So it's not just, Kenneth Chesbro and Sidney Powell, but I get there's going to be at least half a dozen individuals that are going to do plea deals, plead guilty, do plea deals.
Yes. So the rest, you mean the rest of who's supposed
right,
to? Yeah.
Right. Because if you're smart, you look, if they plead guilty, it doesn't ruin your whole life. You lose your law license, you pay $6,000 fine, you're not going to prison. What's not to like? So I do see at least half a dozen. We're going to see it very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I see them falling off like flies, which will piss Trump off. So is he upset?
They're scrambling behind the scenes because there's only so much water they can take on in a ship, in a drowning ship. And, you can't fight if too many people are corroborating the evidence, you can't fight it.
You can't fight it, even though it's fake news.
Right.
Okay. Will the House Republicans finally settle on the Speaker of the House, who will be normal and able to work with Democrats? Pause, Ed. Sterling, there's a gentleman named Tom Emmer. He's 62 years old, Minneapolis. He's running and he's one of the ones that not cray-cray. Mm-hmm. And he did say Biden won. And he did vote against a lot of things on Trump.
Yeah,
possible.
What's interesting about that whole situation with the House and that person you're asking about, I still feel there's going to be continuing major chaos among the GOP. So it's like they can't ever get it over the line. They can't get up to the 217. I think it's 217 is the count, something like that. I feel they can't get it over. They can't get the ball over the wall. So it's still going to be a problem for them. I still see continuing chaos. Yeah.
But will they eventually get somebody?
For a short period of time, and then it looks like that person will get, ousted, just the way Kevin McCarthy did. And I still feel like at some point we're gonna get Jeffries in there. So it's gonna be. I know
we're gonna get, but I don't know while they're in office.
Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, it looks like a couple of Republicans eventually are going to say we can't do this anymore, and we got to get somebody on board here. So they'll be called traitors by the GOP, but it looks like at some point they're going to enable getting Jeffries in, to me. So it's going to be a mess for quite a while, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. Is it possible too that the Democrats say, listen, Tom Emmer is better than anybody else, let's get behind him?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, but everybody to me
then they treat Emmer like a terrible man.
Yeah, everybody to me looks very short term. It's like, you get in, you get to the top of the mountain and you get toppled. Toppled. Because I don't think they're going to get rid of the one vote ability to bring it to the floor. That's a big problem.
Yeah. What about the budget? Is anything? How about with Israel and stuff? Are we going to be able to fund?
Yeah, I do see that still going ahead. I still see the funding working its way through the system somehow, and some kind of overrides and one-offs, like with this one-time event, we'll do this. And I still see a lot of workarounds. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hi, Linda and Sterling. As the attack in Israel happened, I will never forget seeing so many young people reacting with almost glee at the videos on Twitter. And I've been very worried about the future. Was that reaction how most youth feel, or was it just a small, loud minority?
It was a small minority driven by, I'm going to call it parental influence. So whatever's going on in the household of those young people. So it's still a minority, but it's a loud minority. And the analogy for me is like playground bullies, right?
Okay.
The playground bullies are the most, they're the most cocky, they're the most insecure. But for some reason, there's parental influence around that whole young situation, but it looks like a minority to me. Yeah.
Okay. So this looks like a comment. I'm surprised it's in here, but probably Linda wanted you to address it. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that Sterling's answers some questions on his community page where people post questions for his Sunday shows. He always says he doesn't see the questions beforehand, but isn't this seeing the questions prior to the Sunday show?
Well, reveal a little secret here. I look at the comments in the shows, not the questions on the community board. So you're actually, the secret's out. You're interacting with Linda, my wife.
Oh.
And we all,
she might just be repeating something she knew you said.
That's exactly what happens. What she does is that frequently, if a question's been asked before, she knows the answer, she'll just put the answer in. So we have one master account. I think Daniel might do the same thing where, but so when Linda's answering, she's answering logged in as me. Right. She logs into our master account.
Daniel logs in like me to get rid of the riff.
Yeah. So I look at the comments. Many times I'll interact with comments on the shows, but not questions on the community board. Yeah.
That's
now, by the way, occasionally, if someone has a really immediate need, Linda will scream out in the office or something, and I'll scream back and answer something. You know what I mean? If somebody, like is really hurting, like I need to know. So that doesn't happen that frequently, but
right. She's good at determining what's important, what's not.
Right. She's a feeler. She's an empath.
She's so good. Is China, with its failing and falling real estate market, in any position to give financial or material support to Putin and Russia?
Yeah, completely, because that's a misnomer. The strongest industries for China are manufacturing, services, and technology. That's the largest part of their GDP. So and by the way, within a number of decades, whether it's 1 or 2 decades, they will have a behemoth of an economy much larger than the US. Okay. So the real estate situation is a small part of the GDP for China. Okay. Yeah.
Is there a connection between the wars in Ukraine and Israel? If so, what or who is the connection?
That's China and Russia helping behind the scenes with resources, military advice, ammunition. Yeah, there's an influence going on there because both China and Russia, for example, they want to hurt the world democracy, hurt the U.S. Yeah, they're helping behind the scenes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Matt Gates' father is running for Senate. Will he be successful?
Do you know what his first name is?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a yes, and I think that's on the East Coast, like Florida or something.
It's Florida.
Yeah, no, I'm getting a yes on that. So it looks like whoever he's trying to unseat, he'll be able to do it. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Oh, I hope not. I'll look at it too. What is Matt Gates? I heard is going to run for governor of Florida. Matt Gates is kind of, people are angry at him. So
yeah, he's on a downward spiral like DeSantis. So
yeah,
he's losing favor within his party. It's a downward spiral. I don't see it happening. No.
Wow. Will this war in Israel bring about World War III?
No, but it's going to involve many of the world nations and countries like it already has.
Okay.
So military support and diplomacy, but not World War III. World War III, I don't actually ever see happening on the face of the earth, which is interesting because that'd be nuclear annihilation for the whole planet. It actually would take less than a day. Yeah.
It's like, North Korea thinking they're going to do something. Everybody would be, because we'd take them out and then we'd have China and Russia hitting their bombs towards us, and we'd
exactly, yeah,
like you said. Okay, with more companies, to include major car manufacturers, coming out with electric vehicles, what will be the fate of Tesla?
It's going to continue to thrive, but I see them shifting a lot more of their manufacturing and alliance with China. So there'll be new battery technology, new motor technology, new manufacturing, but they're going to align much heavier with China around all that. Yeah, so they're going to be around. Yeah.
Hello, Sterling and Linda. I look forward to this every week. I was curious what happens when psychics disagree. We call each other names now. If it comes from one source, one force, wouldn't the information be the same? Or does it change with the filter of human perception, or even from having different guides?
Yeah, so
does how you receive the information impact the message?
Yeah, so the simple way to put that is that everybody comes into this world with different degrees of communication ability, let's say, in different teams. So it has a lot to do with, let's say, how many lifetimes you've had, reincarnations, what skills you came down here with, how you communicate with your teams and teams plural. For example, do some people are more comfortable with seeing symbols rather than talking directly with teams? And so there's a whole food chain there, so to speak, of communication that comes into play there. It's not a one-for-one. Yes, everything in the universe comes from the one source, one force, but the way we communicate has everything to do with the teams that are around us, our comfort level, how we interpret, if you're using symbols or direct communication. So there's some factors there that come into play. That's true.
Right. Even like with this speaker thing, I was trying to hit, I mentioned Scalise, he did come up but he bowed out. I mentioned, and so I was wrong about the future speaker, but one thing I could stick with is Jordan was not going to be speaker. I always saw that, but we have to be careful to disengage and only hear what we're being told. Because sometimes I'll notice, because I do dislike somebody so much, I go that way, So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you also, I'll call it a mind muscle gift. A lot of people sometimes when they look at these kind of gifts, they think it's everybody just turns it on, it's all magic. There's actually work that goes into it. So it's a mind muscle gift. I know that, when I started really utilizing it full time, like 30 years ago, I got mild headaches. There's a physiological response that occurs. It's almost like being a good musician. You develop muscle memory over time. So there's a skill involved and a dedication to the craft. So all these things come into play. And I just got a cold chill. So that's what my team want to get across here, that for a lot of people out there, even listening to this dialogue, If you want to develop the craft, you have to work the craft, work the skill, become clear. And it's always trust through validation. All these things are important.
Yeah, like I've been doing this since the 1980s, not this show, but as I work, as I read, I notice I get better and better. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Sterling. When you were going about your daily life, do your teams interrupt you to tell you something, or is it just when you're asking them?
Well, the backup channel is always open. What I mean by that, if I'm driving in the car and I'm thinking about something else, the backup channel is always open. So if they want to get a thought across, they will.
Yeah.
Or from around somebody, let's say having a lunch or a business lunch with somebody, sometimes they'll scream out, "You need to tell this person this." So I'll get it out to them. But the other part of the equation is if I'm doing sessions, I'm really turning on the full channel. It's like a volume knob. So I don't leave the volume knob all the time. You do have to learn how to turn the gift on and off. Otherwise, it'll sap a lot of your energy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the backup channel is always on. Yeah.
Like I don't walk around reading people at all. You know how Teresa Caputo did that show and she's walking up. Yeah, that was all pre-done backstage kind of. Not that she was faking it. I'm just saying, people will hear I'm a psychic and they're like, "Oh, read me." Of course, right away they hand you their
that's analogous to being a doctor. As they walk up to you and say, "Hey, take a look. Does this look like cancer?" And you're in the supermarket. Well, that's what office time's all about. Yeah,
right. Will China take some kind of military action against Taiwan, especially because the world is currently focused on Ukraine and Middle East?
A bit. What I pick up on that is almost like challenging aircraft, challenging ships, something of that to be provocative, to provocate, right? So there's something there that they're going to try to put one toe over the line. I don't see an outright assault anytime soon, like on Taiwan.
Yeah, neither have I.
I do see them testing the water, shooting down a drone, impact with a military ship. But I think like the US and a lot of other world countries are stable enough that they won't buy into that right away. So
exactly.
Yeah, I do see some of that.
Will Jim Jordan face consequences for his January 6th involvement?
Eventually, but it's more like the end of 2024 into 2025. So it's almost like a backlog of all the cases. And once a lot of the 45 cases get through the system, then there'll be an abundance of evidence as well that will then tag along to Jim Jordan. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, really enjoy the high quality intro of your show. When will the people of Mexico shake off and hold the cartels that are having dominion over them, their government? And what about Central and South America?
I've read on those countries before in that area of the world. What's interesting is the cartels are a big part of the economy, the way money flows. So it's not until green technology and a green economy starts to get to those parts of the world in about a decade. So that's where farmers are shifting over what they're buying. The government's making more money off of green technology, solar panels, solar wind. So it's going to be about a decade before the cartels start to lose some of that grip on the economy. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which dimensions are humans on, specifically Earth angels?
Interesting question. I love these questions. Well, so we're in the we're in a 3D dimension. This is a linear time dimension. If you think about a 3D universe, everything you can touch and feel and smell, and then time is what they call the fourth dimension, but it's still part of the 3D. Earth angels are in the 3D dimension as well. So that's a coined term. Those are individuals that came down, very old souls that came down with highly connected ability to almost like answer radio calls. So if somebody's in distress, like a woman's trapped on the side of a road and about to get murdered or something, they know to drive to that section of town and save them. They actually jump in when it's time to help. I see it all the time. So Earth angels, it's part of a life path. Yeah, but they're in the third dimension. They're in 3D with us.
Okay. Hi, Linda, Sterling and Linda. Sterling said on a prior show, ETs can go to other dimensions with their technology. If that is so, how do they do this without dying? And can a physical body go through dimensions? Would it incinerate? Or are the ET he mentions with this technology more like interdimensional beings?
So a lot of this has to do with the ability to be able to move faster than the speed of light. So human beings right now cannot go faster than the speed of light. However, a lot of extraterrestrials, there's ship technology, anti-gravity propulsion technology. There's ways to go through black holes, portals. There's suit technology that allows you to move faster than the speed of light. That's the key. That's why extraterrestrials can move through dimensions. Eventually, human beings will be able to, but that's, we're hundreds of years in the future. But more technology that protects the human being. So I guess that's the answer. You have to go faster than the speed of light, first off. And so you have to have the ship technology, suit technology, biological makeup to be able to withstand that.
Wow. Okay. Do you see anything coming up this week?
I do. We more chaos in the house. That's very true. I do see, and I talked about this on my channel, I think we're going to start to see the first stages of a ground assault in Gaza. So it looks like IDF is going to start to make some of the moves, whether that, creeping over the line, starting to move towards the northern section. I also was picking up this week let's see if you get this, another major earthquake in the Middle East. There's something about a large earthquake, like over 7 coming up in the Middle East here.
Yeah, Afghanistan got hit several times.
Yeah, but there's something coming up like this week, my team was saying, and actually something in Europe as well. Now, I don't see a lot of devastation, but it looks like the one in Europe, I don't know if it's more of a remote location that this occurs, but there's some earthquake things coming up here.
I just heard Italy. So we'll see.
Whatever is there's a mountainous range, and it looks like there isn't a lot of devastation when it occurs. And of course, I do think we're going to get some more indicted individuals in the Georgia case starting to plead out.
Okay.
So I think there could be another one this week, another single one coming forward. So it'll be an active week. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you see anything? Do you have anything your guides want to share?
They do. When you go about your life, learn to take in and love the individuals you love in addition to the ones you don't love, because what that does is that strengthens your own power and it kind of builds up the universe around you. So it's like learning how to not just love the people you love, but really love the people that you don't. And that kind of strengthens you through life.
Put that out there, because it only enhances your energy.
Right. And you find with a lot of people I speak with, you might be the same way, is that they have trouble with either family members, spouses, bosses at work, siblings. And it's really learning how to love those people, send love and light genuinely, not only tempers the situation, but it strengthens your ability. Yeah.
Right. And the other thing, it doesn't, if there's some family member, don't give them any more power, release them.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
And send them on their way.
Absolutely correct.
So, well, that was wonderful. It goes by too fast, but it's so much fun.
A lot of fun. And for those of you to reach me, I always mention that just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com and look for the book a session tab. And then we also have a YouTube channel for those that might be new to your channel, Sterling Psychic Medium. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sterling.
My pleasure.
Okay, you guys, I'll catch you later. Cheers. See you.
Take care.
Bye.